Welcome back to the exciting book of Genesis. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. Moving right along. We're in Genesis 27. Yay. All right, let's jump right in. Have my first reader read Genesis 27, 1 through 5, please.
And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold now, I am old, and know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau the son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. And holding that Esau, holding to the spiritual significance of things, we spoke of Esau representing Christianity, and here it is, we see his eyes growing dim so that he could not see. You know, and spiritually speaking, you know, Esau would give birth to two sons, you know, and so this is where we're coming into the story of those two sons. You know, they were twins, and they were Esau and Jacob. And here it is, we're told that Esau, you know, he had an affinity for his son Esau, whereas Rebekah had an affinity for her son Jacob, you know, or their son, I should say. You know, now here it is, we see Esau, his eyes were getting dim and he couldn't see, so spiritually speaking to Christianity is becoming blind, so that it could not see, you know, and that's not hard to see historically, you know. Things got to the point to where, you know, Christianity couldn't see the true things of Elohim anymore, you know, and so we move on, and here it is, he wants to pass the blessing on. And so he tells his son Esau, you know, that I want you to go out and capture some venison and make me some of that tasty meat that I love so much. You know, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. Now, obviously, you know, he was feeling pretty bad. You know, not only had his eyes grown dim and he couldn't see, he must have been feeling pretty bad to think that, you know, his days were numbered. You know, and that he wanted to bless his son before he died. Now, we know that he wouldn't die for quite some time, you know, but he must have been going through something pretty rough. Amen. Let me have my next reader read verses 6 through 10.
And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me some venison, and make me savory meat that I may eat, and bless thee before Yahuwah, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to the which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it into thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
Okay, my next reader, verses 11 through 17.
And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother,
Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob.
Okay, so here it is. We have the plot thickens. You know, now Yaakov oftentimes get a bad he get a bad rep from this. You know, but it's you can clearly see that it was Rebekah's mother's idea.
Yeah.
You know, and you can even see that he didn't even quite want to do it. You know, he was saying, hey, what if Dad failed me and I should seem to him as a deceiver and bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. Mom was like, hey, let the curse be on me. Just do what I tell you. And as a good young good son, he did what Mama told him. Maybe he was just a mama's boy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he did what Mama told him, right? One of the other things I want to point out here is the contrast betwixt the two, Yaakov and Esau. Here it is. Yaakov says to his mother, "Behold, Esau is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man." This word "hairy" is Sayer, number 8163, and it means to storm. It means to be shaggy. It means it typifies a he-goat, or actually a devil, in all actuality. So, and that's quite a contrast with Yaakov being a smooth man, which in the Hebrew is kalat, number 2509, meaning to be smooth, to be flattering, to separate, to apportion or divide. And so here it is, we see, one being, kind of stormy and devilish, where the other one is being kind of smooth and flattering. So if you had a situation, one would storm into it, and act kind of devilish in and about it, whereas the other one would be kind of smooth and and separate himself from the trouble. And I think it speaks volumes to the natures of the two individuals.
Yeah.
Let me have my next read verses 18 through 23, please.
And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because Yahuwah thy Elohim brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him.
All right, so here it is. We have Yaakov lying through his teeth. He goes up in there with his dad, and he says, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. And Esau wasn't totally ignorant. He recognized his son's voice.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, you know, he was trying to have some safeguards in there, you know, because he was a bit suspicious, you know, and he say, how you don't find this so quickly, my son? And, you know, Yaakov was quick on his feet. He was smooth. He was flattering. He says, because Yahuwah thy Elohim brought it to me, you know, and Yitzhak tells Yaakov, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son. And rather than just saying you lying, you know, come here and let me feel thee, whether ye be my very son Esau or not. You know, he wasn't quite sure here. Okay? And so Yaakov goes over to him, but you know, Mama had already, you know, set the stage, you know, and so he's feeling him, and he's, you know, he's smelling like goat, and he wearing goat skin, you know, smelling like his son Esau. So, you know, his father says, you know, the voice is Yaakov's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And it says he discerned him not because he was fooled by his hands. You know, they were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. Now, spiritually speaking, this speaks to a time when you wouldn't be able to tell the difference betwixt Yaakov and Esau. Spiritually speaking, this speaks to a time when they would literally live up to the terminology of being twins. You know, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. You know, now you would be able to tell from Yaakov's voice, but his hands would be like the hands of Esau, and that is, you know, hairy, and we already went over what hairy speaks to. His hands would be kind of stormy and devilish, you know, meaning his works would be violent, you know, wouldn't be smooth and flattering as Yaakov, because you know he's putting on, you know. But spiritually speaking, it speaks to a time when Yaakov and Esau you wouldn't be able to tell the difference betwixt them, you know, in Christianity. So, you know, if you following along, you know, the two sons, Yaakov and Esau, you know, historically most likely speak to the east and the west branches of Christianity, you know, which were born at the same time, in all actuality. You know, one became the Roman Catholic Church and the other one became the Orthodox Catholic Church. You know, and these were east and west branches of Christianity that came out of Christianity. So you do see that there was actually two sons that was born to Christianity. You know, that's still in existence now today. They both still up and at 'em. Okay, so moving right along, let me have my next reader read verses 24 through 29.
And he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which Yahuwah hath blessed. Therefore Elohim give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay, so we see here Esau's still not 100% convinced, right? You know, so he asks him again, just to be sure, art thou my very son Esau? Yeah, of course I am. You know, and so he's telling him, you know, come there, you know, and I eat of my son's venison, you know, but, you know, when he came near again, you know, Esau, you know, tell him, yeah, come a little closer. You know, come there now and kiss me, my son. You know, and, you know, the purpose was so he could smell him. You know, and it says that he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him. You know, because, you know, he obviously knew his son's smell. You know, and here it is. He had his Yaakov had his brother's clothes on, so it would be reeking of him. You know, even though it was his good clothes. You know, they didn't have washing machines like we have now today. You know, not to say that they didn't wash their clothes, they did, but, you know, anyway, moving right along. You know, so here it is. You know, he goes over there, and his father, Isaac, finally begins to bless him. You know, he gives him the blessing, and, you know, he says, therefore Elohim give thee the dew of heaven. You know, the dew of heaven speaks to the covering of heaven. You know, the dew is what came from the heavens and covered the earth. And so, you know, here it is, it's speaking to the covering of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. So in other words, he gave him covering from on high and gave him sustenance, you know, plenty of sustenance so that he wouldn't be in need. And then he made him a ruler. Say, let the people serve thee, and the nations bow down to thee, and be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be everyone that blesseth thee. You know, you have kind of like that boomerang type blessing there. You know, if anyone curse them, they'll be cursed, and anyone bless them, they'll be blessed. You know, so something I found that was interesting was this word Lord. It's Gabar in Hebrew number 1396, and it literally means to be strong. You know, and it just stood out because it only occurs in this chapter. You know, it's not the usual word for Lord. You know, not one of the two usual words for Lord, I should say. You know, but here it is, and it, in the context, does tend to, you know, show that it can very well mean Lord. So, but I like to point stuff out that like that anyway. So, let me have my next reader read verses 30 through 34.
And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that he saw his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meats, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said to him, who art thou? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that has taken venison, and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father.
That's so sad. I always thought this was a sad story. You know, but Yah's will was done. You know, but it's still sad all the same. You know, so as soon as Yaakov leaves out, you know, says he scarcely left out, and here come Esau. You know, and you know, here it is. He's just like, you know, he had made the savory meat and brought it to his dad, and you know, he come in. You can just imagine this. You know, you gotta make it come to life. You know, he's happy. You know what I'm saying? He's, you know, I'm about to get my blessing on. You know, he come in. You know, got this savory meat. You know, Dad, arise, eat of your son's venison, so you can give me my blessing. You know, and you can just see. You know, Esau said, "Who art thou? Come on, quit playing, Dad. You know, it's me." It's me, your firstborn, Esau. You know, and he started trembling and everything. Who? Come on, Pops, quit playing. You know, it's me. And he like, and I just blessed somebody. You know, I don't know who it was, but they gonna be blessed. Whoever it is, they blessed, you know. And, you know, and it's like, you know, Esau, he just, you know, he breaks down and he's crying, you know, with, you know, this bitter, exceedingly cry, you know, bless me. Even me also, my father, you know, come on, give me a blessing too. You know, Esau goes on to say, and he said, thy brother came with subtlety and taken away thy blessing. Whoa, Jack, you know, that right there, you know, fueled some stuff. And he said, is it not he rightly named Yaakov? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Esau answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. And all his brethren I given to him for servants, with corn and wine, and have sustained him. And what shall I now do unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou only one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Yeah. And Esau, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. You know, and wow. You know, so Esau kind of lost out there, you know, but he's going to be taken care of. He's going to have some fatness of the earth, and, you know, he's going to have some covering on him, you know, but by his sword he shall live. You know, that sounds real similar to Ishmael, doesn't it? You know, and knowing spiritually speaking that the sword represents the word, you know, we see a spiritual picture here that Esau lives by his sword. He lives by his words. You know, whereas we're called to live by Yah's words. Amen.
Amen.
You know, so here it is. Esau, he should live by his words, and he's still living by his words. We have my next reader read verses 41 through 46.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau has touching thee, doeth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away. Until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said unto Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me?
Okay, so here it is. We see the hairiness of Esau coming out. You know, the hairiness of our brother Esau, that storm and that devilish nature, you know, popping out. You know, he says, you know, that he hated Yaakov because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. You know, he's going to make him my Lord. I'm going to fix him. He started plotting to kill him. I'll slay my brother Yaakov. That's what I'm going to do. You know, as soon as Dad is out of here, I'm going to handle this. You know, and you can see the hairiness of Esau. You know, he wasn't trying to be smooth about it at all. That storm was ready to, you know, rain on Yaakov's parade. You know, but, you know, Mom stepped in you know, and told him about his plan. It says, now therefore, my son, obey my voice that got you in all this, and arise and flee out to Laban, my brother, to Haran. Now, spiritually speaking, Laban speaks to whiteness or righteousness, and speaks of the brother to Haran. Haran actually means parched, you know, so you can see symbolism of a wilderness in there. And so you can see Yaakov, you know, is being told to go in righteousness unto the wilderness, you know, and says tarry with him a few days, you know. I mean, 20 years later he come back, but this word for a few days isn't actually few, you know. The word is echad, you know, and so it can speak to united, it can speak to one, or it can speak to some, you know. I think the proper perspective would be some, you know, and tarry with him some days until thy brother's fury turn away, you know, and until thy brother's anger turn away from thee. And so she says, why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? Now, it doesn't tell us why she felt like she would be deprived of both of them, you know. You know, it could have been because she felt, you know, she had love for Yaakov and figured, you know, if Harry Esau mess with my favorite son, I'm gonna take him out right with him, you know. I'm gonna be deprived of both of my kids, you know. Kill my baby, I'm gonna kill him, you know. It could have been in essence, which I don't think that was the case. I don't think that was the case. I think, you know, and this is just supposition on my part, you know, this is not scriptural, you know, but I think maybe he got wind of, you know, mom's involvement in that plot, you know, and so he was just kind of upset with mom at the time, you know, and so he didn't want to have anything to do with her, you know, and so I'm thinking it was something more along those lines, you know. And Rebecca, you know, she got to take care of her baby, so, you know, she put the plot together and go and tell Isaac, you know, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. Now remember, Heth means terrorizers. So, you know, these daughters terrorizing up in the place, you know. Says, if y'all could take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do to me? You know, now daughters of the land speaks to the flesh, so spiritually speaking, you know, these daughters of Heth can speak to daughters of the flesh. All right, we're going to go into the bonus round. You know, we're going to continue on to Genesis chapter 28. Yeah, we're going to get a 2 for 1 a day. You know, and Genesis 28, 1 through 5. My next reader, please.
And Yitzchak called Yaakov and blessed him, and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Paran-Aram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence, of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. And Elohim Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Elohim gave unto Abraham. And I will make thee a great nation.
Verse 5.
Oh. And Yitzchak sent away Yaakov, and he went to Padan-Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother.
Okay, so here it is. Esau calls Yaakov in and blesses him and gives him the blessing of Abraham. Now, you know, that kind of stood out to me because when he was blessing his sons previously, he didn't give them, you know, the total blessing of Abraham. You know, not like he did here, and even called it the blessing of Abraham. Mm-hmm. You know, that he had received himself. You know, and maybe, you know, Yah, you know, in some type of way, you know, acknowledged, you know, who he wanted the blessing to go to. You know, I don't know, but what I do know is that Yaakov gets the blessing of Abraham right here. You know, and he tells him to go to Padaram, which speaks to, means the field, or can also mean a way or a road, you know, to the house of Bethuel. Bethuel means house of that Elohim destroyed, or destroyed of Elohim. Thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from the daughters of Laban. And we just spoke about Laban, speaking of whiteness, which represents righteousness. You know, so he's trying to get him to get a wife that's, you know, that's righteous. You know, not one of these heathen women on the land. You know, don't bring another happy heathen into this house, you know. And so he gave him Abraham's blessing, you know, to be fruitful and multiply and become a nation of people, a multitude of people, you know, and inherit the land in which they're a stranger in. You know, in Genesis 12, 2 and 3, you know, this is Abraham's blessing. And says, and I will make of thee a great nation, and will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. You know, and that's huge right there. You know, that's huge. That's a huge part of the Abraham, the blessing of Abraham that a lot of people seem to forget about today. You know, in Abraham shall all families of the earth be blessed. It didn't say in Abraham shall only his people be blessed. Even though he's a father of many nations, it didn't just say just his nations, but it says all the families of the earth. You know, that's huge. Okay, moving right along. Let me have my next reader read verses 6 through 9.
When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Paddan Aram, to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Paddan Aram means the field of Aram, Aramea, which is modern Armenia. Verse 7, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Paddan Aram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife.
Okay, so Esau hears that Esau, now you see this sibling rivalry going on here, you know. Esau is jealous of Yaakov, you know, and so here it is, he find out that, oh, Dad told Yaakov to go and get a bride, you know, because he didn't want him to have one of these heathen women I have, you know, so he decided, well, you know, I'm gonna marry someone else, you know, I want to make Mom and Dad happy too, you know, so he goes to Ishmael. He just can't get it right, but you know, he goes to Ishmael, you know, and took other wives, which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth. Okay, so Ishmael means hearing of Elohim. Mahalath speaks to sickness or making sick. You know, I don't know why he would go get a wife to make him sick. But, you know, but she's the sister of Nebaioth, which means prophetess or heights. You know, so it is. He's trying to be pleasing to his parents, but he just couldn't get it right. All right, my next reader, verses 10 through 15.
And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran, and he lit it upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down into that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and beheld a ladder sent up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of Elohim ascended and descending on it. And behold, Yahuwah stood above it. and said, I am Yahuwah Elohim of Abraham thy father, and the Elohim of Isaac. The land whereunto thou liest, to thee will I give it, and so into thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee, and in thine seed, shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all thy places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken unto thee. Spoken to thee of.
All right. Hallelujah. All right, so here it is. We have Yaakov. Went out from Beersheba and he's going towards Haran. And just to give you a perspective of this, because I want you to get a perspective because it's important. He wasn't just going, over on the east side. This journey would be approximately 500 to 550 miles. It would take him, up to 40 days to actually make this voyage. That's just to get there. So this wasn't no light journey. This was some serious traveling here. Okay, so Beersheba of course means the well of the oath, and Haran speaks to that which is parched. So you see the symbolism of one entering into covenant and then going into the wilderness, which is the same thing. Was the same thing with Abraham. He received the promise of Elohim, and Elohim told him to leave out from his father's house. He went into the wilderness, and while in the wilderness, Yah came to him. Yitzhak, while he was in the wilderness, Yah came to him. Now here we see Yaakov, while he's in the wilderness, Yah came to him. Actually, when I was in the wilderness, Yah came to me. Yah seems to come to us when we're in the wilderness. And I think that's really important to know. Because so many people want to circumvent the wilderness. But you have to go through the wilderness. That's a part of the way. And they didn't have airplanes and helicopters and things. You can't skip over the wilderness. The only way you're gonna get there, you got to go through the wilderness. So it says that he dreamed, and behold, a ladder. This word ladder is sulam, number 5551, meaning a staircase. So back when I was younger and I read this, I'm just imagining this real long ladder going up into the sky. Well, it actually speaks to a staircase, which is not, it makes the vision a little better, because I was like, man, you get tired on that ladder, you're in trouble.
No elevator.
Right. So he says, behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of Elohim ascending and descending on it. That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
It says, and behold, Yahuwah stood above it and said, I am Yahuwah, Elohim of Abraham, thy father, and Elohim of Yitzhak. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt be spread abroad to the west, to the east, to the north, and to the south. And in thee, and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Now that was the part that Yaakov left out, remember? When we look back, when Yaakov was giving Abraham's blessing, he never mentioned, in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. But here it is, Yah, he picks up the slack. Like, can't nobody give his blessing like he can, right?
Right.
Now something else I want to point out is that he's speaking to Yaakov, okay? And Yaakov, he's telling Yaakov, thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. Now, if you remember from last week, when he was speaking to Yitzhak, he told Yitzhak that his seed shall be as stars of the heaven. Because Yitzhak represented the promised seed. He represented the promised seed. He represented a spiritual person. You know, and here it is, Yaakov, you know, which speaks to a physical person. You know, and so here it is, you see, thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, which speaks to the earth, the physical nature. You know, and so I just wanted to point that out, especially since I pointed out the stars of heaven last week. And he tells him, he assures him that I am with thee and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I spoken to thee of. Now, how's that for an insurance plan? You know, that's some insurance right there. You know, he goes on to say, and Yaakov awaked out of his sleep, and he says, surely Yahuwah is in this place, and I knew it not. I know that's right. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful, how awesome is this place? How awesome is this place? This is none other but the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of heaven. Woo! And Yaakov rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of the city, that city was called Luz at the first. Now, this is real. It's a real beautiful spiritual picture that's within this. Because actually, what Yaakov seen in his dream was what happens at the house of Elohim. Can you see that? You know, hence he calls it the house of Elohim and the gate of Elohim. This is what happens at the house of Elohim. You know, the angels ascend and descend from the house of Elohim. You know, that's a beautiful picture. And Yah is watching over. Can you see that? Okay, this is what happens at the house of Elohim, you know, spiritually speaking. And that's real important, because when you take into account that, spiritually speaking, we are the house of Elohim. Amen? You know, so that's real important. Now, also something else that's important, he calls the name of the place Bethel, the house of Elohim. But before it was Bethel, it was Luz. See, and this is very revelatory in and of itself. Bethel, of course, means house of El. Luz speaks to an almond tree. You know, and you're like, yeah, and so what, Pastor? But, you know, but that's really revelatory. You know, because almonds, the word almonds in Hebrew is shaked. You know, and it's number 8247. It means the almond. It's from shakad, number 8245. And it means eyes open wide for watching carefully. You know, so here it is. Before you can become the house of Elohim, you have to have your eyes open and be watching carefully. Can you see that? You know, and also we see within in the Brit Kadashah, that is the New Testament, our Messiah tells us to always be watching and praying. Amen. See, because you're not going to become the house of Elohim unless you become the almond tree first. You feel me? All right, let's take a little closer look at this almond thing. You know, and when we go to Exodus 25, 31 through 33, we see it says, and thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. See, now remember what the almond tree represents, right? It represents the eyes wide open watching. You know, now you can't watch nothing in the dark because it's dark, right? So you need light in order to watch, right? Okay, now here it is. Yah is telling them this is the menorah, the golden menorah that's going to go into the tabernacle, which was what? The house of Elohim. Everybody with me? Okay, so now here it is. It says, thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work, shall the candlestick be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knots, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knot and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knot and a flower. So in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick. So can you see that this is just a picture of the almond tree? This is a picture of the almond tree in full bloom and bearing fruit. You know, that's what it is. So hereby we learn that the light of the tabernacle, which allows us to see, because you can't see in the dark, you know, the light of the tabernacle comes from an almond tree. The almond tree was the first tree to bloom in Israel. It was the first tree to bloom over in the areas in which they lived. You know, so it's a picture of the first fruits of Elohim. You know, the almond tree was the first to bloom. Spiritually speaking, trees speak to men. Amen? Remember the guy that the Messiah healed, and he says, what do you see? He said, I see men walking in the street. He was like, oh, let me touch him again. What do you see now? You know, he said, I see men as they are. You know, so men is likened unto trees. Okay, and so here it is, we see scripturally speaking, you know, that there's an almond tree that those that make up the almond trees, when they become into bloom, they have to come into bloom and begin bearing fruit before they become the house of Elohim. Okay, now, the almond tree, like unto the other trees, spoke to a man in all actuality. You know, the menorah, you know, it's just a picture of a man. Now, with this in mind, let us consider the story found in Numbers 17, because it's the story of Aaron. Just to give you a little backdrop, you know, Aaron, whose name means light bringer. Can you see a candlestick in that?
Oh, yeah.
Can you see a candlestick? Can you see a menorah and a light bringer? Anyway, Aaron, whose name means light bearer, you know, there's some confusion as to which tribe, you know, that Yah chose to bring light into his kingdom. Amen. And so they were told to bring all of their rods and put them together. Okay, and we're going to put these rods into the house of Elohim. Well, let me read it for you. It says, and Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and take of every one of them a rod according to the house of their fathers. Of all their princes according to the house of their fathers, 12 rods. Write thou every man's name upon his rod. So can you see that these rods represents the 12 tribes of Israel. It represents the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel. The rod speaks to authority.
Right.
You know, and so here it is, you have all 12 authorities of Israel being put into the tabernacle before Yah, right? Verses 3 through 10, it goes on to say, and thou shalt write Aaron's name upon the rod of Levi, for one rod shall be for the head of the house of their fathers. Now, of course, Aaron's name means light bringer, as aforementioned, but Levi means attached to. See, and any light bringer that's attached to Elohim will become the house of Elohim. Hallelujah. You know, it goes on to say in verse 4, and it says, and thou shalt lay them up in the tabernacle of the congregation before the testimony where I will meet with you. And it shall come to pass that the man's rod whom I shall choose shall blossom, and I will make to cease from me the murmurings of the children of Israel whereby they murmur against you. And Moshe spake unto the children of Israel, and every one of their princes gave him a rod apiece. For each prince, one according to their fathers' houses, even 12 rods, and the rod of Aaron was among their rods. And Moshe said unto the rods before Yahuwah in the tabernacle of witness, and it came to pass that on the morrow Moshe went into the tabernacle of witness. Behold, the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi was budded, and brought forth buds and bloom blossoms, and yielded almonds. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I pray that you can see that the light bringer's rod is the one that budded. You know, I pray that you can see a picture of your Messiah in this. See, because he was the light bringer. When he came to the earth, he says, I am the light. Amen. You know, he was the light bringer, and he was that rod. He was that rod that was attached to the Most High. He was that rod that was put in the temple of Elohim, even the house of Elohim. Amen. He was that rod that was dead, but sprouted back to life. Amen. And brought forth almonds, opened eyes, so that they could see. Amen. It goes on on in verse 9, it says, and Moshe brought out all the rods before Yahuwah unto all the children of Israel, and they looked and took every man his rod. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, bring Aaron's rod again before the testimony, to be kept for a token against the rebels. And thou shalt take away their murmurings from me, that they die not. You know, so if you want to know who is ruling, who is the authority that Yah has chosen within the house of Elohim, then you look to the rod that has budded. The rod that bear fruit. Amen?
Yes.
This is what this is teaching us.
Yes. Thank you, Yahuwah.
Also, we see in Yirmiyahu 1:9 through 12, it says, and Yahuwah put forth his hand and touched my mouth, and Yahuwah said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Yirmiyahu, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Hallelujah. You know, what he was actually seeing was Yahshua. But Yah was using him, you know, at that time to do just what he was saying. And he says in verse 12, he says, then said Yahuwah unto me, thou hast well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform. You know, so I want you to see that in order to be the house of Elohim, we must first become luz. We must first become the almond tree. We must first have our eyes opened so that we might see. We must first begin to bear fruit. Amen. You know, and then after we become luz, then we go on to become Bethel. And then when we become Bethel, the house of Elohim, then we can expect the angels to ascend and descend from us. Hallelujah. You know, and they do that as we give forth our prayers. You know, they take them up and they bring us our answers. You know, and they interact in our lives in that fashion. You know, Genesis 28:20 through 22. And Yaakov vowed a vow saying, I love this part. I love Yaakov's heart right here. You know, Yaakov vowed a vow and saying, if Elohim be with me and keep me in this way that I go, and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall Yahuwah be my Elohim. You know, see, because you never know what spirit you're dealing with. You know, so, you know, even scripture teaches us to try the spirits. Amen. You know, and so this is what Yaakov was doing. He said, okay, if you indeed do what you said you was going to do, we on. You know, we on. You know, then Yahuwah will be my Elohim. And he goes on to say, and this stone, which I have set for a pillar, shall be Elohim's house. You know, and of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth unto thee. So he set that stone up as Bethel. You know, Yah didn't do anything different. He set that stone up as Bethel. And that stone was Yahshua. We read in 1 Peter 2:1 through 10, it says, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile with hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. There's so many of us want to just jump over the water and the milk and just want to get straight to the meat. You know, we don't want no bread, we don't want no water, we don't want no milk, just give me some chicken. You know, but here it is. You know, Kephas is encouraging us as newborn babes, and we all should begin as newborn babes, because except ye become as little children, ye shall by no means enter into the kingdom of Elohim. Amen? Amen. So, you know, as little newborn babes, we should desire the sincere milk of the word, that we may thereby grow, or grow thereby. Verse 3, and if so be ye have tasted that the Adonai is gracious, to whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of Elohim and precious. You know, ye also are as lively stones, built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Elohim by Yahushua Mashiach. You see, we are a spiritual house. You know, and the angels want to ascend and descend from us, just as he does with all the house of Bethel. you know, with all the house of Elohim. But we have to be loose. We have to become loose. First, we have to have our eyes open.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be having some light. We have to have our eyes open. We have to be watching. You know, it goes on in verse 6. Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. He is precious to us, amen?
Yes.
But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. And a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient. Whereunto also they were appointed. You know, we were all appointed unto this stone, but all of us don't want to accept the stone.
Right.
You know, we still want to hold on to the malice and the guiles and the hypocrisies and the envies and the evil speaking. You know, it's time to cut that out. Why? Because verse 9 tells us why. It says, but ye are a chosen generation. Hallelujah. A royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. You know, can't you see that your eyes are open when you're in the light? That's when you can see when you're in the light. You can't see when you're in darkness. When you're in disobedience, you're in darkness. You can't see. Verse 10, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Elohim, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. You know, so, you know, we are Bethel, you know, if we become lose first. We can't skip over lose. You know, we can't just go straight to being Bethel, the house of Elohim, without first being lose, without first having our eyes open and watching and bringing forth fruit. You know, if you can see, you know, the light always have to be on in the house of Elohim. Yes. You know, hence, when they put the menorah in there, they were commanded, the priesthood was commanded to never let the light go out. Never let the light go out. And so they would go in daily and they would make certain that there was oil in the lamp. You know, so I pray this helps us understand, you know, Bethel, the house of Elohim, and how to get there, you know, scripturally speaking. That's all I have for you today. I pray it was a blessing.